you have pain in the front of the shoulder, that's typically caused from the ball sliding too far forward in the socket or stretching out the front of the shoulder and stretching out the capsule that surrounds the front of the shoulder, or shearing the labrum in the front of the joint. So one of the things that we start athletes with right away is just a side-lying external rotation, where they actually have to pull the shoulder back in the socket. And a lot of times that's a challenge in and of itself, because athletes like to leave the shoulder too far forward and initiate movement from that malposition. So we initiate by pulling the ball back in the socket. At the same time, we pull the shoulder blade back and then roll the chest forward. And this is something that I don't see being done with this exercise very often. So you have to make sure you do the exercises right if you want to get the correct adaptation. So the ball gets pulled back in the socket at the same time the shoulder blade gets pulled back. I squeeze a towel roll under my armpit hard as I come up into external rotation. Now the key is you're going to stop at horizontal, but because my chest is rotated forward, that's really the extent of the range of motion. Now if I roll back, you can see I can get extremely high, and that's not what we want. So I'm going to pull the ball back in the socket, roll forward, and I'm going to use this same cueing strategy internally on our future exercises. Nice and controlled, not going too high. I don't let that ball deviate forward at the top. So a lot of times what we see is that as athletes go up, they let the shoulder come forward. We want it back. You don't need an extremely heavy weight. This is nice pink 2-pounder here. Hit a few sets of 10 to 12 reps, and then we'll move into the next one here. So now what we're gonna do is actually move into a hinged position, one of the exercises I prescribe most commonly. Hinged position, shoulders are down in this position, but we're working into that upward rotation of the shoulder. Now, if you get a pinch or pain at the top, you just don't go so high. But if you can, and that band's attached low, get up into that full extent of the range, thumbs pointed at the sky, no shrugging up, shoulders are down at the same time that I'm getting up all the way to the top of the motion, holding that for 5 to 10 seconds at that peak contraction. Back is flat, I'm not standing up here. I find that people try to stand up and compensate as a result of weakness in and around the shoulder, but we want to teach that shoulder blade to get in that full upward rotation position. It's going to actually allow for more protection as you go into your overhead sport movements. If you're looking for the most comprehensive resource on training and rehabilitation of the throwing athlete, check out my book, Arm Alloy. The link is in the description. Now, back to the video. So we worked external rotation. We're going to actually work internal rotation. Down here at the side, I've got a band pulling across, chest is up, and I'm going to work it right here. Sets to relative fatigue, where I'm actually pushing out into the band, my elbows slightly forward, and I'm pulling in. So getting out into a lunge, back leg straight, front knee is bent. I'm going to bring my elbow up out in front of my chest at approximately 90 degrees. Now from here, I keep that shoulder down and I come back into external rotation. Now what we see is that, you get athletes doing some sort of maneuver like this. It's nothing like the exercise we want to do. So we got to actually keep that elbow rotating about, a pinpoint. So it's a pure glenohumeral rotation, holding my rib cage down as I move into it as far as I can go without compensating through the lumbar thoracic spine. Hold that position for about 5 seconds without losing any elevation, and execute reps there to failure. Form failure. When I lose the technique, that's the end of it. So now you got 4 moves: your side-lying external rotation, your forward bent Ys, your banded internal rotation, and your 90-90 external rotation in the scapular plane that'll be designed to actually get your shoulder to move the way we want to do it. Now, if you do these exercises wrong, it can reinforce the wrong thing inside the shoulder, and that's why it's so essential that you do it the right way, and that's why, a lot of times it takes a few sessions of cueing to get it done in the way it needs to be done. These are the exercises you can start with. This is where you can start. If you guys like this video, hit the thumbs up, give us a sub. We'll see you guys in the next video.